Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our 1999 Colorado Avalanche franchise mode. So in last episode we had the off season and we drafted forward Ralph Culp at number 28, I think it was. Anyways, he's a left winger, two-way forward, low elite, so I'm hoping that guy grows to being a good penalty killer. He's in the minors this season. Also, we did sign a couple of key pieces for the season, including Steve Sullivan, Brian Muir, Vili Peltonen, and Robbie Tallis. Basically, to replace Kamensky. I think Gusarov was one of the ones that we let go, and Craig Billington. I'm gonna go through the NHL rosters like throughout the entire league this for the start of the season, so you guys could see any of the big off-season moves that happened. So let's start off with the Boston Bruins. It does not look like they picked up anybody in terms of offense. They are already playing their draft pick from the first round in Sven Forsstrom, which is kind of weird. But who knows? They might send him back down to the minors after the preseason. Jason Smith they picked up, Joe Riki and Mark Tenorti. Okay, so they picked up some more defensemen mainly. And they also picked up a young Jose Theodore from Montreal, so that's getting cool. Okay, next team, the Buffalo Sabres. They picked up Jermaine Titov, which is a good one for their top 6. Nice. They also picked up Dan Kessa from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Who else? Nobody on defense, and nobody goalie-wise, and nobody depth-wise, so that's all that they picked up. Carolina picked up Jeff Shantz, I think, from the Calgary Flames. Ethan Morrow from the Edmonton Oilers, and I think that's it on offense. Defensively, they had traded for Kjell Samuelsson last year, so that was during the regular season. But they did pick up Ken Klee in the offseason, and they also picked up Jim Cummins as depth. And Jim Cummins dropped a lot. I think I had him like a 78, but he dropped to like a 74. On to Calgary, let's see, Nils Ekman. That's a good pickup for them. Nils Ekman actually was a Calgary draft pick in real life, so that's kind of cool. They're already playing their first round pick as well, Solomon Salcido. I think that might be just preseason wise, but who knows. Defensively, they did not pick up anybody. Goaltending wise, nobody. And Brathwaite got statistical growth, I guess. Okay, interesting. And yeah, that's it for Calgary. Once we get this done, we're going to do some of the simulation. Probably, we're not going to go super far, but who knows. So Chicago picked up Steve Konowalchuk from the Washington Capitals. There's their draft pick Daniel Sedin that they drafted, I think, first overall. Yeah, first overall. They also picked up Esa Tikkanen. On defense, they picked up Aki Berg. I think that was a trade, though, last year. If I'm not mistaken, they picked up Brett Clark from Montreal, and they have Luke Snugard, I guess they called him up. They did pick up 2 new goalies, though, Gar Snow and Sean Burke, so that's pretty good 1-2 punch. And then Jamie Baker they traded for last year, I think, as well. The Czech Republic, they picked up nobody in terms of offense, I think. Yeah, Apostolopoulos was one of their draft picks, I think. Yeah, 9th overall. Defensively, they did not pick up anything, it looks like. Goalie-wise, they picked up A.T. Engren in free agency, I think. Yeah, they didn't really make much moves, so they're probably going to be another bad team. In terms of the Dallas Stars, they picked up Ulf Dahlin, who I think actually did play for like the North Stars for a bit, so that's kind of neat. They also picked up Bill Berg, and yeah, that's all they picked up offensively. In terms of defense, they traded for Nick Wallin last season. They did sign Dmitry Mironov, so that's a good one for their top 6. No changes to goalies and no changes to depth. Okay. Detroit, no, not Detroit. The German team. German team has Henrik Zetterberg, who they drafted 3rd overall on their second line, so that's kind of cool. They also picked up Trent Klatt from the Vancouver Canucks, Dave Reed from the Dallas Stars, Alex Hicks from the Florida Panthers. And that's in terms of offense. Defensively, No changes, looks like. Goalie-wise, no change. Oh, actually, there is a change. They picked up Martin Prusek from the Czech Republic, so Prusek goes from one bad team to another. And that's it for the Germans. In terms of Detroit's still looking deadly as shit. And they did pick up one piece, Kevin Miller, in terms of offense. And they are playing Mark Pettersson this year, so they must have let go somebody in the offseason. Defensively, they did not pick up anybody. Goalie-wise, they picked up Ron Hextall as backup, so they let go of Bill Ranford. And then scratched-wise, they picked up Sergei Brylin. So, yeah, Detroit's poised to win another Stanley Cup potentially this season. Hopefully we could beat them if we play them in the playoffs this year. Edmonton-wise, Edmonton picked up Kelly Miller. They also picked up Kevin Dineen, Sergei Zholtok, and Joe Sacco. Defensively, Sean Chambers and Doug Bodger. Goalie-wise, Mark Fitzpatrick and Gusarov is there. So Gusarov is depth in Edmonton, okay. Florida, no changes to their top 6. Ron Sutter they picked up from the Sharks. And I think LaRue they must have picked up from like the Rangers, I think, or Chicago. Defensively, they picked up Ulf Samuelsson from Detroit, so Ulf Samuelsson left Detroit, I guess. And they also picked up Jeff Bookaboom on their top 6 from the Rangers. Goalie-wise, they did not do anything. And then they also picked up Mats Lindgren from the Edmonton Oilers or the Islanders. I can't remember which team it was. LA did not pick up a single offensive forward. Defensively, they picked up Luke Richardson from the Flyers. Goaltending-wise, they didn't change anything, and that's it. No, actually, Mike McBain is one of the guys, too, from Tampa Bay. Mighty Ducks of Anaheim picked up... Who did they pick up? Did they pick up anybody on offense? No, they didn't. Actually, yeah, they did. Steve Webb, okay, and Craig Berube. I think it was a pickup in the offseason. Defensively, they picked up Jason Culmore, and that's it for defense. Goalie-wise, they picked up Rick Tabarachi, and yeah, that's it for Anaheim. I'm trying to fly through this as fast as I can, guys. Sorry about that, but hopefully you guys like this kind of thing. If you want to see this every single season, let me know, because then you guys get to see all the big asset signings, and then we could just sim like a couple months into the season, and that will be like the first episode of each year. So Montreal picked up, well, they're playing Capo Caco already because they just drafted him. Defensively, they picked up Jason Marshall from the Mighty Ducks and Doug Smolek from the Chicago Blackhawks. Goalie-wise, they picked up Bob Essenza to replace Jose Theodore, and that was it for that. In terms of the Devils, they picked up Derek King from the Toronto Maple Leafs, who went to the Stanley Cup Finals this last season. Who else did they pick up? Donald Brashear from the Vancouver Canucks, interesting. They also picked up nobody on defense. Actually, no, they did. Eric Weinrich is back in New Jersey. He was actually originally drafted by the Devils, if I'm not mistaken, and he was in Montreal and Chicago in the actual 98-99 season. So, and yeah, I think that's the only moves they made. Nashville. They picked up Alexander Daigle from the Tampa Bay Lightning, or is it the Flyers? I can't even remember, honestly, but they picked up Daigle. They're playing Peyton Krebs already, and I think that's it in terms of offense. Defensively, they picked up Peter Popovic from the Rangers. And then scratched-wise, nobody. So they didn't make much off-season moves. The Islanders picked up Valery Solopukin. Okay. They also picked up Jeff Friesen from the Sharks. That's a nice signing. To go with like Zygmunt Palffy, that's pretty nice. They also picked up Juha Lind from the Finland team. They picked up Harry York from Vancouver, Mike Eagles from Washington, and Mike Greer. Interesting, from who was Mike Greer with? The Oilers? I think. Yeah, I think it was the Oilers. Defensively, they picked up Jamie Rivers from the St. Louis Blues, and that's it. So they didn't actually help their goaltending situation, so that's not good for them. And Bowen Byram is also in the NHL looking like this year. In terms of the Rangers, they picked up Mikhail Renberg and Brian Rolston for their top 6. They also picked up Travis Green, Ronnie Stern. Damn, yeah, this team is a very physical team on their bottom 6 because Ron Stern, Darren Langdon, and Christoph Olawa, those guys fight a lot, so interesting. Defensively, they also picked up Stefan Quintel, who actually played with the Rangers in 99-2000, if I'm not mistaken, so that's kind of cool since he actually went to the Rangers technically this season, I think, or it was the season afterwards. They also picked up Mark Bergevin, Nolan Pratt, and Adam Burt, so they picked up a lot of defensemen. And then scratched-wise, nobody changed. In terms of the Ottawa Senators, they picked up... Who did they pick up? Adam Creighton from the German team. They also picked up nobody on defense, nobody goalie-wise, and that was all they picked up, I think. They actually Gord Murphy from Florida, so they picked up 2 pieces only. Not a lot. Philadelphia, they picked up John McClain from the Rangers, so that's a big free agent signing there. They also picked up Brian Bellows from Washington, Ken Blanchet from Boston, and yeah, that's it for that. Defensively, they did not pick up anybody. Goalie-wise, they picked up Dominic Roussel, who actually also played for the Flyers, if I'm not mistaken. And then scratch-wise, they picked up Craig Janney from the Islanders. In terms of the Phoenix Coyotes, they picked up Kirk Muller. They also picked up Mike Knuble and Martin LaPointe from Detroit. So Detroit lost Martin LaPointe. Defensively, they picked up Paul Coffey from the, Carolina Hurricanes, I think. And then goalie-wise, they picked up Bill Ranford from Detroit as well. Johan Garpenlov from Florida. Pittsburgh, they picked up Michael Groshek. They traded for Andrew Burnett last season. They also picked up Patrick Poulin from Montreal. Bill Holder was a trade acquisition, I think, recently. Bob Rouse as well from San Jose. And yeah, that was that. Scratched-wise, is there anybody new? Oh, Dave Ellett, so they have 2 depth defenders now. The Swedish team picked up Kelly Butchberger. Mikhail Samuelsson was already there. Rene Corbet they picked up. Nobody else on offense. Defensively, nobody, I think. Well, actually, Jason Strudwick. Yeah, Jason Strudwick was one of the pickups. And nobody goaltending-wise. And Bobby Dallas for depth. In terms of the San Jose Sharks, they picked up Jim Hiller. And Dale Hunter, who was our player last season. And Matt Johnson. Damn, Matt Johnson and Dale Hunter, both guys that fight too. It's crazy. Daryl Sador went from Dallas to San Jose. And that's it for that. Goalie-wise, no changes. Scratched-wise, nobody different. In terms of the SM Liga team, they picked up Dave Lowry from the Sharks. They also picked up Sebastian Bordalo, who was traded twice, I think, last season. I don't know if that was a trade from last year or not. They also picked up Blair Achanam from St. Louis, Peter Ferraro from Boston, and Korovo from, I think, the German team. Defensively, Jamie McCowan from Detroit. So Detroit actually lost a couple good pieces, but they still have a really good team. They also picked up Brad Brown. I think that was a trade acquisition now. And yeah, Todd White was also a trade acquisition, so that's all that the Finns did. St. Louis, they picked up Tony Granato from the Sharks. Jason Daw from Montreal. Defensively, they picked up Matthew Schneider, I think, from, I don't remember, I think the Rangers. Yeah, I think it was the Rangers. Chris Luongo from the German team. Goalie-wise, no changes. Scratched-wise, they picked up Todd Marchand from the Edmonton Oilers. Tampa Bay picked up Todd Harvey as well as Sheldon Kennedy, Mark Lawrence, and Vitaly Yachmanov. So they picked up quite a few pieces, which is good for them because they were a really bad team last year. They also picked up Grant Ledyard, who actually played in Tampa Bay, if I'm not mistaken, as well, and Don Sweeney. Goalie-wise, their goaltending situation has gone to worse, so that's not good for them. And they also picked up Maxim Galanov from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Toronto picked up Valery Kamensky, who was our player last season. They also picked up Sergio Momiso from the German team, I think. Kevin Stevens from the Rangers. Yeah. And Stefan Richer, I think, was a trade acquisition, maybe? Yeah, I think he was a trade acquisition. They also picked up Vaclav Varada. And nobody on the defensive core. Goalie-wise, Craig Billington as well from us. Okay. And then Harava from the Czechs. In terms of Vancouver, they picked up Jeff Courtnall, who actually also played with the Canucks when they went to the Cup Finals in '94. I know that for sure. Henrik Sedin, who they drafted at number 2. He's going to be playing third line center this season, so that's cool. I also picked up Petrovicki, and that's it in terms of offense. Wait, yeah, in terms of offense, yeah, that's that. Defensively, they picked up Paul Laus from Florida. Scratched-wise, they picked up Jan Vopat and Jamie Allison. And finally, the Washington Capitals. Sorry if I wasted so much time with this, guys. The Washington Capitals picked up Benoit Brunet, Miroslav Hlinka. They also picked up Bob Sweeney and Ted Drury. Defensively, let's see. Kyle McLaren from Boston. Damn, Boston lost Kyle McLaren already. And Dan McGillis from the Flyers. They also picked up Marty McSorley. And then goalie-wise, they picked up Darren Pupa from what team was it? Tampa Bay. They also picked up Tony Herkash and Greg Brown, but I thought I just saw a duplicated Brendan Witt. I don't know how he would get duplicated. Because here's Brendan Witt in Washington. Wasn't he on Carolina as well, didn't I say like earlier? Oh no, I was thinking of Ken Klee. Okay, I don't know how I got those two mixed up, but anyways, let's get the season started. Hopefully we could make a push for the playoffs this year. I think we can, definitely. With our acquisition of Steve Sullivan, like he had like 24 goals last year, and he also was really good in the playoffs, so that should help us out. So let's go all the way up to January the 1st, and we're not going to check any like player stats and stuff like that until then, unless injuries start to happen, which I hope I don't. This should be pretty automatic for us to win games, unless for some reason we're just, I don't know what our problem would be, because we have like depth everywhere technically. But we definitely won't go all the way up to the deadline, I don't think, in this episode. Like, if we get to January the 1st, I could show you guys the trading block, and you guys could let me know for potential trades anyways and stuff like that for next episode, because I kind of want to get the ball rolling and get a couple seasons out of the way. Maybe get a Stanley Cup, too, meanwhile. Also, today is a very blowy day outside, so if you guys hear any wind in the background, that's why. Like, it looked fine like when I woke up this morning, and then all of a sudden there's a shit ton of snow. So, also the day that I'm recording this is the trade deadline day, so yeah, hopefully there's not too big of deals with Mark Stone involved. So we just had our first injury already, which was Adam Foote. So that's going to be bringing in Brian Muir to play his first few games with the Colorado Avalanche. Hopefully he could play pretty solidly. There's a good way to start the season, a 5-0 shutout, but then we lose to Florida in a 96 rematch, technically. And Adam Foote's already back. Hopefully that's only like the only injury we get, because I don't want to have a lot of injuries and then not be able to get a lot of simulation done. Because I don't want my episodes to be like 30 minutes again, because I know you guys won't watch all 30 minutes. Well, most of you. Okay, game against the Germans, probably who are playing probably bad to start off with. Okay, they're actually playing pretty decently, and we lost to them. Huh. Yeah, this GM mode might be kind of interesting because like if teams do really good in the free agency department, like they pick up some really good pieces, they could turn it around in like one season. So you might see teams going from rebuilder to like contender right away. Oh my God, Chris Drury's injured too. Let's just go replace player because I'll put in our depth forward. I think because I think we have a depth forward. I can't remember who it is though. It just sucks that it was Chris Drury that went down. Because he's probably our best young forward at this point in time, other than Hayduk. And Drury is back. Who did they even put in the lineup? Oh yeah, Sean Poden. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, good. Okay, Drury is back. There you go. I think we might have to eventually decide on flipping away someone like Steve Sullivan, like not necessarily right now, but I would like Drury to be playing on the second line, but he's not getting that ice time. No thank you. I don't want Ulanov at 5 years left, Zmolik at 3 years left, and a fourth for my first and second. See, that's what I mean. Like, a lot of teams are signing, like, players to long-term contracts and stuff like that. Like, this is going to be a really different GM mode in comparison to all my other GM modes and anything I've ever seen before. Oh, man. That is not a good injury to have. Patrick Waugh has been injured, so we're going to have to call up a goalie from the minors. I don't even know who's down there. Damn, that's not good. Spencer Martin, you're coming up. You're going to go through waivers, though. Yeah, I'll still do it. I'm not calling above 57 overall, so. But damn, that's not good that Patrick Waugh is injured. Hopefully that doesn't help us, like, or not help us drop in the standings. Robbie Tallis will go up into starting role. And there's Spencer Martin. AHL-wise, let's put in Frank Hughes. There you go. Okay, hopefully we can still win some games. Hopefully Tallis is decent enough to start. Because in real life, Robbie Tallis never became a starter. He was more of a backup role for Boston for, I think, a couple seasons, and I think Chicago, and then he retired kind of young, or he went to Europe. Yeah, this episode might be running long already, so we're going to try and get to January the 1st. Yeah, I'm not trading my goalie prospect. There's no chance. Because we're going to definitely need that goalie prospect, because Patrick Waugh could be one of these guys that retire in a couple seasons. Bobby Dallas, that's not bad to pick up another depth defender, but I'm not giving up a second for him. But this team is playing really good right now. Same with Boston, they're playing actually pretty decent too. We lose to Boston. Dallas is playing really good. Patrick Waugh is back. You know what? We might just leave Spencer Martin up here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave Spencer Martin up here as like a depth goaltender just in case. Because I don't want to put him through waivers technically, so. Yeah, I might just go to December the 1st. Yeah, I think I'm going to just go to December the 1st. Because I'd like to get to January the 1st, but like, I don't know how long this episode has been already. Actually, we might be able to make January the 1st, but we're going to have to like skim through the player stats kind of quick so far. And then also, I'll take a look at the draft class again because it looked like a really outstanding European draft class. Like, I was looking through it, and majority of the players in the first 2 rounds are Europeans, so it might be a pretty good one to pick up some good pieces in. Okay, so at December the 1st, we are 25-2, I think. Jeez. Yeah, let's try and go one more month. Just because I want to get a lot of this chunks of the season done. Like, I might not do that at the start of the season now, like show the rosters for each team, kind of just like skim through it more for most knowable signings. Or I'll show you guys the signings in the off season. Like, I'll actually go 1 month at a time, and then we can see any of the signings that happen, big ones. Because like it adds way too much time to this episode. Like, I kind of wanted to go up to at least January the 1st in this episode, but like we're kind of running short on time. But yeah, this team is playing really good. Even when we had Patrick Waugh out, they were playing really good, so that's a good thing. That means we could play good without having key pieces to our team. It's probably our top line, no, I would assume. Because our top line was Sakic, Forsberg, and who was the other one on our top line? I don't remember who it is, but anyways, they're really good. Game against Buffalo and we shut them out. Game against the Finns. You know, actually I might slow it down. Stop it right here. Yeah, let's just stop it right here. We're playing really good. I just want to slow it down anyways. And we could take a look at the player stats for the season and then take a look at the draft class. And we have some over point per game players, which is good. We're technically, yeah, we're first in our division and first in the entire league. That's good. Okay, so let's just check the standings quickly. So we are currently first by 4 points. Good stuff. We're averaging a lot of goals, and we are allowing not a lot of goals either. Our power play looks to be clicking, and our penalty kill as well. Our penalty kill is maybe not that good. Who knows? Point-wise, let's just quickly skim this. So, yeah, we have 2 over point per game players. Everybody else is below point per game, but everybody on this team is playing pretty good, it looks like. We only have 1 minus player, and that was Brian Muir when he played a couple games. And, wow, Robbie Tallis played really good. It's like really good during that time frame. Same with Spencer Martin. He had a shutout in those 2 games. Damn. Yeah, so this team must be really good defensively. Okay, let's quickly check the draft class, and then that'll be it for this episode. I won't show you guys the trading block, but like if you think there's anybody we should move out, let me know. I don't think there is. And okay. So we do got a franchise guy this draft, which is what I was expecting. So Frank Walzer is a franchise player. Wow, he's got 3 8+ stats. Like Wayne Gretzky, damn, this is going to be a really good draft. So they have him first. They have Ross Houston supposed to go second. He's like a Nicholas Backstrom. We don't know anything about Oshie yet. Then they also have Klubertans, Koivunen, and then Lafreniere. Wow. Yeah, this draft might be really, really good. Like, look at all the Europeans, though. This is the most ridiculous draft ever. Like, literally the entire first round is all Europeans for the most part. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of our Colorado Avalanche franchise mode. So in next episode, we will sim the remainder of this season, and we'll also maybe make a trade to kind of get ourselves even better. And hopefully that continues, like this record continues in the playoffs when we get there, because his team is playing really good hockey right now. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.